I was a child, I saw the Second World War. In good weather, there were always streams of bombers flying over. I sometimes wake up and I hear the noise that nobody will ever hear again nowadays of more than 4,000 radial engines. It's an extraordinary sound. For a new generation, they do not know the magic of how all this started and where it can lead to in the future. The biggest thing I'm looking for is to bring the Air Museum and the history of aviation and space to a new generation.
The PIMA Air Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona, opened in 1976 as part of the nation's bicentennial celebration. Since then, their collection has grown to over 300 aircraft, second only to the Smithsonian. And despite an impressive display of some of the most important artifacts in aviation, they've noticed it's difficult to keep younger visitors interested, inspired, and motivated to pursue aviation, aerospace, and engineering.
I think kids are less interested in aviation today. I think there are a lot of things that compete for their attention. There's Xbox, there's Facebook. Our challenge as a museum is to find ways to overcome that and to create programs that will draw a family here who might not otherwise come. The debate within the museum was, what will it take to get them to be here, and how do we get the word out?
The answer? A giant paper airplane. A monstrous feat of engineering inspired by a child's toy. But how would the museum get kids to take notice? To kick it off, they held a paper airplane throwing contest and got world record holder Ken Blackburn to host.
I think this contest is going to be a great experience for the kids. Certainly because they're going to have fun, but because I think it will maybe open their eyes to all kinds of opportunities.
It takes the spark to interest somebody, especially at that age, into a field. And it may well be that we are seeing the future Jack Northrops and Lee Andersons and so on.
How's everyone doing? You ready to start this? Pilots, are you ready? Ready, set, fly. Oh, that's a close competition.
Second round.
How far did it go?
He said about 77 feet, and he said it was the longest flight of the day. That's what he said, and it went past like the fourth line. So I'm really excited.
Heat 4, fly. Wow, nice flight. That is number 4.
Hours of competition and hundreds of folded paper planes later, we found our winner and guest engineer for the project.
Winner is Arturo Valdenegro. Please come up here. Great job. Great job.
Congratulations. Well done. I hope he becomes an engineer in aviation.
So what did you guys think of the competition today?
It was
awesome. Really close.
This isn't it. The Great Paper Airplane competition was just part of the overall project of what we're trying to do, which is to build the world's largest paper airplane and to fly it over the Arizona desert.
Having seen enthusiastic children fly paper planes which they folded together, when I see that this giant, over 40-foot paper plane will actually fly, I will have a sense of triumph that this crazy idea was a good idea.
Now, Art Thompson and the build team could begin work on the big paper airplane by building larger and larger models. When the model reached 15 feet, it was time for a real test flight, outdoors via helicopter. It was the first and only chance the team would have to assess the design's weaknesses.
So here we are at Cal City. Nice little airport. It's pretty low key. We're going to be out here flying the 15-foot paper airplane. Hey, Arturo.
Oh, hey.
So are you excited?
Yeah.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
We'll pull it out.
Okay,
Let's take a look. Come on. Raise up a little bit of an angle to get through the doorway. That's not it. So Arturo, what do you think?
It's cool. So what made you guys put that there?
So what the bracket does is, this is for picking it up with a helicopter. The center of gravity on the airplane is right about at the quarter chord of the wing. And so this is about where the center of gravity is. So when we pick it up with a hook from the helicopter, we want to have it a little bit far forward. And you probably understand why, right?
So it has like more time up in the air and it wants to go up?
Exactly. It wants to have the tail drag a little, and as they pull it, it's going to want to lift a little bit. So we'll see. Should be interesting. Are you excited?
Cool. Yeah.
Now came time to put Art's theory to the test.
Copy that, we're going over.
It's doing pretty good. It's getting a lot of roll action, side to side. Let's see if, depending on the speed he's going, you can see it stabilizes down a little bit, but there's a lot of side roll. So that's what's going to be interesting, is to see when we release it, if it wants to just do one of these. Now.
Drop, drop, drop.
Yep. Oh, the drogue chute.
Oh.
The drogue chute dragged on it. You see what happened?
Yeah.
Snagged the drogue chute.
But far from soaring majestically, the plane takes off straight down after the drogue chute gets tangled up during the release.
Oh, it's ruined. What now?
The good news is that after a disastrous start, the plane recovered and started to level out before hitting the ground. This test will convince Art to abandon using a drogue chute entirely.
Back to the hangar.
With the test phase over, the build of the final 45-foot plane begins. The team will end up using over 800 pounds of paper product. Despite the nosedive during the test, Art chose to keep the lift point in the center of the plane because it will give the plane the best chance for a level release and flight. And the launch day had finally arrived.
10 months ago, when we started this project, it seemed very unlikely we would actually get here.
It's just amazing to us that this whole thing started with a tiny little paper airplane that was made by Arturo Valdenegro. Here we are today. We've built the giant airplane that's going to fly.
You know, is the museum creating history today? Yeah, I really think we are. It's an event we've been building up to for several months now, and this is the big payoff today.
And I think it'll be exciting.
The big thing is, with the paper, there's no structural integrity to the paper airplane. On the ground, it's super fragile, you know.
Until you get some
basically
wing loading.
just holding together. We got to get the thing up in the air and get a little bit of wind under it, and then that's going to relieve some of the pressure for the wing loading, and we should be okay. But I think this is why they don't build 45-foot paper airplanes.
With the final preparations complete, it was time to roll the plane out of the hangar and onto the runway.
Getting ready to lift off with the great paper airplane. We have a helicopter ready to pick it up at the end of the runway. We're going to do a quick center of gravity check. Worst possible outcome, it comes apart as we're picking up the airplane.
The plan is to lift the plane via helicopter by its center, so the center of gravity test is critical. It will determine if weight has been distributed evenly across the massive shelf of paper. Too much weight at the front and the plane will fall straight down. Too much toward the rear and the helicopter won't be able to pick it up.
And it's already under a tremendous amount of strain with what it is. See, I get worried. See the deflection there?
Yeah.
Down in that valley. It's like the wing is creasing. Right, and I think we need to pick it up more to be able to see what it's doing. Because as you pick up and rotor wash, there's a good possibility it's just going to buckle right along that line.
And Art's concern was well-founded. As the plane was hoisted up, it buckled under its own weight, severely damaging the fuselage, the plane's backbone. This was a devastating setback for the team.
Boy, I don't know. Add some weight, add some structure, but we can't quit now.
I like the idea of channel on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could do that, but what are we going to do about it?
The plane was rolled back into the hangar as the team set to the task of repairing and reinforcing the body. But there was a larger issue there. Was it even possible for a paper plane this size to be lifted by its center? Or would it still be too heavy and crumble again? It took months of building and testing to get to this point, but Art and his team now had only a few hours to get the plane ready all over again. The race was on. After 8 hours of repairs and adjustments, the plane was rolled onto the runway once again. Art had decided to move the lift point from the center of the plane to the tip of the nose.
They're going to lift from here. We're going to have a bridle in the back to relieve the pressure of the back so that it doesn't want to roll over on the tail section. Once we get it up, we're picking up 400 pounds at each point to clear. And as the helicopter raises up and we've got enough to clear, then we'll clip this cable. The back end will swing out and the helicopter will hopefully take off with the airplane. Cross ties are basically helping take up the wing loading because the paper isn't strong enough to carry a 24-foot wingspan.
This new lift point made it easier to lift off the ground, but less stable in tow and flight, and the wind wasn't helping either. Wind speeds had increased throughout the day, and the team was no longer met with the calm morning they had planned for, but a gustier evening. But they were out of time. It was fly now or never.
Heads up, rotor wash coming. Okay, coming up, coming up. Moving on, moving on.
job.
Great job.
Yeah.
It descended about 1,500 feet while it was accelerating,
Uh-huh.
and then it would gain so much speed it started to delaminate in the back.
Yeah.
So it flew.
I feel, man.
Happy, but sad. Yeah. It flew really well, but it's sad to see it be destroyed.
I don't think we're hanging it in the museum. What do you think? I think it's going to take a little bit to put back together if we're going to do that. But it did pretty good.
Yeah, it flew really well.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, right? Got to be around a bunch of friends and have fun doing it, you know? So that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
In the end, Arturo's Desert Eagle covered almost a full mile in just under 30 seconds of free flight and reached a top speed of 98 miles per hour. The team had achieved something no one had done before. The Great Paper Airplane project was a success.
What we're hoping happens is that kids all around the world are going to see the video of that flight, and they're going to be inspired to dream dreams of their own and pursue careers in science and technology and get involved with projects like this.
I think the success of the project is really the inspiration.
We are extremely proud that every school district in Tucson now says, when are you going to do it again? And we probably will.
With the plane now on display to inspire future generations of scientists, engineers, and dreamers, the PIMA Air and Space Museum has gone from curating history to making it.